Assalamu alaikum. Today we're going to talk about participle, which is one of the kinds of verbals. We said verbals are divided into gerunds, participles, and infinitive. And today we're covering the second kind of verbals, which is participle. We're going to talk about the kinds of participles, and then we're going to talk about how can we use participle to make our writing much more professional. So let's just get started immediately after this break. So again, let's go back to the participle. So let's start with the definition and how many kinds of participle do we have, and then we'll go for more examples just like it gradually. Okay, so first of all, a participle is a verbal used as an adjective. So this is one of the most important points in defining the participle. The only difference between gerund and participle is that gerunds function as a noun in a sentence. Participle functions as an adjective in a sentence. Like, let's have, for example, okay, we've got now two kinds of participles. We have present participle, like we can add ing to the word or to the verb, like play, playing, do, doing. And the second part is past participle, like we have two kinds of past participle at the same time. We have regular verbs and irregular verbs. Regular verbs, as you know, adding ed, ied, etc. I'm not going to go in details with these things. And irregular verbs, as you know, that sometimes you change the sentence, sometimes you add t, sometimes you keep the word as it is. So this is another section that I don't want to talk about in details. Okay, so we have two kinds of participles. Present participles, we add ing to the verb, and then we have past participle that we add ed if it's regular verb, or we change the word if it is irregular verb. And then let's have some examples here. Again, I need to remind you, what is an adjective? An adjective, that's something that describes or modifies, okay? Describes or modifies. So it's not only describes, okay? Just like in Arabic, in the mother tongue language, it modifies or describes, both of them. So don't try to catch a running bus. Which bus we're talking about? We're talking about a running bus. Which bus? It's running. So here running is describing the bus or modifies the bus, so it's an adjective. Okay, it might look like the same as gerund, but remember again the difference between gerund and participle. Participles function as an adjective while gerund as a noun. Okay, now the next example, a flying bird. A flying bird. What kind of bird? It's a flying, or which bird? It's a flying bird. Is more watchful than a sitting bird. Which bird we're talking about? We're talking about a sitting bird. Okay. The next one, we ate a lot of roasted meat. Which kind of meat? It's roasted meat. So we have roasted, it's past participle, and in running, sitting, and flying, it's present participle. Okay, now let's move now. Since we've got enough idea about what is participle, now the question is, how can we use them to have a better professional writing in English? Let's go to more complex structure. For example, now we've got this sentence. An old coat which is faded and torn was her only possession. Now we've got here two sentences. The first sentence, or the main clause, is an old coat was her, etc. And the other one is which is faded and torn. So we have two clauses. Can we make it more complex by using the participle? The answer is yes, we can do that. How? Okay, an old coat, comma, faded and torn was her only possession. So here we're talking about past. Faded and torn is past participle, and it's the passive voice, because which is faded. Who faded it? We don't know. So is faded is past participle at the same time is passive voice. So we call it past participle passive voice. So in this case, when you write in this way, your writing will appear like more professional, as if you know how to control the structure of your sentence. Okay, let's move on. I think to the next example. The man have been warned. He was sent on his way. So the man have been warned, and then after that he was sent on his way. Can we make it in a different way? Can we write it in a different way that appears more professional in our writing? The answer is yes. Having been warned, having been warned, or having been warned, the man was sent on his way. Having we're using here, when we said having, we're using present participle. Okay, having been warned is present perfect passive voice. Okay, and it modifies the man. It modifies the man, or it makes it like just like an adjective. So it's just if you like to make it to make your writing, let's say, more professional, you can use past participle or present participle. It's just in this way, just like that function as an adjective. I highly recommend that you try to practice and send me some similar sentences in this way just to try it out. Is it going to work or not? Or you can just leave it in the comment and I'm going to try to check your sentences. And the last note here, or the last note, like the gerund, the participle might have a complement. If you remember, we said that in the gerund, we might have a complement or like an object because it's half a verb and half a noun. But here in this participle, they are half an adjective and half a verb. That's all for today. Thank you and bye.